Is there a new Deadpool trailer that I cannot believe how good it was? Is there a bunch of stuff shaken up at Fox? And has Black Panther become the #1 domestic superhero movie of all time? Yes. Welcome to Marvel Movie News.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Marvel Movie News.
Excelsior to you, our Merry Marvellites.
Yes.
Welcome. This is episode 173 of Marvel Movie News, which means we are only 2 away from announcing the fan art winners on the big anniversary 175, which is very exciting. Chromium covers, variants, Liefeld chests, all sorts of stuff. It's going to be insane. And we are here to tell you why you should be excited about all the news from all the studios that we are, including Fox, which we're going to figure out if they have movies coming out. So you can subscribe to us on iTunes at Marvel Movie News. Find us on YouTube at youtube.com/Popcorn Talk Network. Find us on Popcorn Talk's website, popcorntalknetwork.com. Follow us on Twitter at Marvel News PTN and at Popcorn Talk. On Facebook at facebook.com/Marvel News Show. Follow us, like us, but we prefer Twitter and Instagram. And if you tweet a link out whilst we are live on Twitter, Aunt Manthony in the booth will retweet you.
Yes, everybody tweet at me and I will retweet you. And all I can say is, how can
Could not hear him.
Oh, my bad. I can feel. I'm not sure why I can feel sad and also happy about Deadpool at the same time.
Well, it's weird, man. The Fox thing is it's cumbersome.
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, hearing the sad news about the show that we'll cover later on.
Yeah. There's a lot of darkness over at Fox. It's
spoilers,
such happy, sad, Aunt Anthony. Such happy, sad.
In any case, that's at the end. Let's enjoy the show.
But first of all, good sir Ollie, welcome to the desk.
Hey guys.
Yes,
this is amazing.
Desk.
This is amazing. Like, this doesn't feel real.
How's the view?
It's intimidating.
Yeah.
I miss my couch. I really miss my couch.
It's not far. It's
It's a lot comfortable, but
Safety
you're here
blanket.
with us.
I like being close
You're
with you
with us
guys.
now.
Oh, there you go. Welcome
Just
back.
don't,
There you go.
just don't hit me. Don't hit me.
We promise.
Oh.
Promise. What are your plans?
I know.
Where can they
What
find
have you
the internet?
daydreamed about us?
What are your goals?
Well, you can find me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer and Gamer Girl. No, I am not Matt Key's replacement.
No one can replace
No,
Matt
one.
no.
Never.
There's no such thing as a replacement
No,
for
he's
Matt
an
Key.
icon, a
Matt Key.
legend.
He
Never.
lives in the astral plane on the desk, for Christ's sake. This is Matt Key at all times.
Indeed.
And Markia, where can they find you on the internet?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Markia McCarty. That's MarkeiaMcCarty. And a whole lot of fun stuff. Those that are, viewing us on YouTube, as you can see, we have the Legend series. You've seen this previously on our Black Panther episode. Well, after our Black Panther review, and it's a giant T'Challa.
It's beautiful.
I'm gonna try to promise not to open this and play with it during the show, but I reserve the right to not keep that promise.
She might just. While Koi's talking about Deadpool,
who
she's just
knows
gonna be.
what might happen.
I know.
Well, speaking of Black Panther,
Okay, just pass me.
actually, you know what? While you're playing with them, I'm gonna let you announce what happened with Black Panther
and
this week.
Thank you again, Taylor Hambert, I believe, from Marvel Disney, for sending us this previously. I managed not to play with it before, but I will now. So Black Panther has taken the world, the superhero world. It is now the top grossing, I believe, inflation not adjusted at this point. Domestically, it is 626 million back when we checked it before, and that was hours ago. So who knows what's happened now? But now it has earned more than Marvel's The Avengers, which was in 2012, and it is now the highest grossing superhero movie ever domestically. And when you keep that in mind of what The Avengers had to do to get to that point, and then you have Black Panther. I'm opening the package for our iTunes listeners because I'm gonna
crinkly sounds.
I'm gonna play with this giant toy.
Do you need help?
Yeah, I will always
got you.
welcome
I
help.
got
Thank
you.
you. But yes, this has happened. This is a thing, and I know that there might be some studios or movies or the whatnot that are like, oh, February, that's when we should do it. It's just like when they would think, like back when with Avatar, be like, oh, December, why didn't we think about releasing movies then? It is not just that. I am not saying that February is not a great month to go ahead and release movies. Please do, because I love watching movies. And by February, you've recovered from December, so you can go out again. But I am saying that not only is America, but the world is starved for this underserved, demographic that you have. We want these superheroes. We want them. We've told you that we want them. Within 26 days, $1 billion.
So
worldwide.
February is a great spot. I mean, the movie, we were talking before the show, like, we think that no matter what, whether they release Black Panther in July or February, within 30 days or 35 days, Black Panther would have still made $1 billion.
45 days at the most.
February was great
At the
because
most.
it just was able to trounce.
Without China,
Yeah,
it would have
so
been $1 billion.
Black Panther is now the highest domestic of all time, beating the Avengers. They team up film. It's incredible news. But in less incredible news, Fox. This morning, they announced over at the House of Fox Ideas that Dark Phoenix and New Mutants have new release dates, neither of them sooner. Dark Phoenix is now right before Captain Marvel, which could mean great things. It could mean that ties in to Captain Marvel. It could mean the Skrulls. It could mean all of that is one organic thing. I'm thinking these are two movies involving Skrulls now weeks apart. That is my optimistic side. My optimistic side is the reason for that is because the Fox Marvel deal is further along than we thought. That is the most positive glass, very, very half full perspective. On the other side, New Mutants already moved from next month when it was originally supposed to come out, and now it is going to August 2019. So this movie is now a year and a half away, and it was due out in a month, within a month. So we've gone from reshooting, like very typical reshoots happen, like they schedule reshoots, but we've heard rumors that they're about 50% of the reshoots. Like the movie is 50% new, which is never a good sign overall. I'm a little worried about New Mutants now, and I hadn't been. I've been very optimistic. I'm hoping Dark Phoenix is because they want to line it up with Captain Marvel, and I've also heard that the cast, since it's all A-listers, it's really hard to do reshoots when you don't have the schedule for it because you've got to reassemble Jennifer Lawrence, Michael Fassbender. Like, so to have their schedules all line up is a hell of a thing, but those reshoots, if they were the standard reshoots, would have been scheduled anyway. So this means they're additional photography that hadn't been scheduled for. Concern is set in.
Wow, so they're both getting reshoots.
They're both getting
Yeah,
reshoots
they both are.
and not within the scheduled reshoots. Because otherwise they'd have the cast looked at. You know what I mean? Like,
Already a rocky year for Fox.
Yeah. So yeah, with this, I mean, I can understand with reshoots, as we've discovered. For some of us recently, others kind of realized it. Reshoots just add more to a movie of what you want. But then that also means for New Mutants, 50% of the movie was something that was off base than what they perhaps originally wanted to do or what they wanted to reimagine for it to do. And yeah, that does dim my optimism for New Mutants. Because that's such a huge...
A year and a half. That's a long time.
That's huge.
That's when the sequel would be coming out if it was on schedule.
That's enough time for someone to be like, oh, hey, we're recasting also along with these reshoots. Or, hey, there's all... Maybe they're waiting for new CGI technology to be invented in that time. I don't know. I'm very excited about the MCU in general, taking place in a horror genre. And I still very much want that. Since this has been backed up so much, I would love for them to really think about other properties that could be along with that in the horror genre. If anything, to prime the pump for us for New Mutants, since that's been backed up into August of next year. As far as Dark Phoenix, though, what?
Yeah, because we heard good things. We'd been hearing like the screenings were going well, and those are always tricky. Like you can never trust sources all the way from those screenings because, as we learned with Deadpool, that was someone trolling. So you never really know, and you're not supposed to talk about it. NDAs are non-disclosure agreements. You're not supposed to disclose your experience in the film. It's illegal. So any of those rumors, But at the same time, it's not the best sign that they need all of the cast to come back to do stuff that hadn't been allocated. So I'm a little worried. This is a big push. And it's also like 2018 was supposed to be the years we got mutants back. Like this was supposed to be the year like for Fox to rally back and like the success of Logan, success of Deadpool. They've got 3 movies this year. They got the Deadpool, New Mutants, Dark Phoenix 1, 2, 3 Punch. Now they have Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really hope that it's worth the push.
Yeah.
Because look at what happened to Suicide Squad. Look what happened to Fantastic Four with their reshoots. I mean, wig after wig, like her hair looked
that
different.
hair
I'm
was
like,
not
Sue, no.
Yeah.
So it's just I'm so worried because I was so excited for New Mutants next month, and like I was okay with the push, and now it was another push, so I'm just a little anxious.
I'd rather Dark Phoenix be perfect and late than rushed, but at the same time, the timing I'm hoping really is Skrulls.
Yeah, maybe they're going to really flesh out the whole scrolls thing. I mean, and then maybe it's kind of a thing where it's like, oh, hey, Captain Marvel is going to be coming out at this time, so how about we put our female-driven movie right in front of Captain Marvel along with the scrolls.
Right. I mean, they do feature a lot of the same supporting cast.
So, that might be the major reason behind this, as apart from anything else. I could kind of see that, but you didn't feel like November was such a good release date.
Yeah, it was.
For it.
It showed strength. It showed like we've got a big Christmas release. Like November is a strong date.
Yeah.
So February worries me in any situation. I get that the strength of Black Panther, the strength of Deadpool gave February like this new like coveted spot.
But it isn't necessarily February the month.
It's
is what
about
you
your
are
movies.
giving us, and then it also happens to be in February.
Yeah,
the month.
like I'm sure Death Race would come out in February. Like these movies that are like also like you
Death
know what I mean,
Race?
like
Oh my
movies that are also
God.
like your Walmart bins. Like those come out in February for a reason as well. So I just hope it's good. I really want these movies to be great. Dark Phoenix is the one I'm worried about because of how much it has to be. It has to be a Phoenix Saga. It has to be a soft reboot. It has to be a Skrull invasion.
And
It has to be.
so many characters involved. I mean, I feel like they would be better served to just limit their pool and make us care about the characters again.
Yeah.
That's what it is. They're writing too long, too far on coattails of characters that we have read about in comics and most haven't read about in comics. And at this point, it's thin. It's like, oh, hey, here's this person I knew in high school, and they were super cool, but now it's like 20 years later or whatnot.
Yeah,
and
X-Men,
it's like,
their solo stuff's been so much better. And yeah, I love some of the original X-Men movies, but like you're saying, like 2000 was a while ago. Like the year
Yeah.
2000 is legal now.
Yeah.
Like it's 18 years later. And
18 years, yeah, 18 years later.
And I love the idea of them, I mean, miraculously tying in the Marvel and X-Men universes by way of the Dark Phoenix, because they could use the reality gem and then they could recast the X-Men into the MCU by using the Skrulls. All of that
They
would work out
easily could.
perfectly. And a 1-2 punch of Skrull in one movie, Skrull in another movie, make them one Skrull, make them the MCU Skrulls in Dark Phoenix. That'd be amazing. I don't know how likely that is.
Yeah, or dueling scrolls. I'll take dueling scrolls like dueling pianos. We
I
can have
I
that.
want to be enjoying the Skrull season. I just hope the movie's good.
Yeah, because there is not just one Kree, as we know by Captain Marvel. There
Yeah.
is not just one Skrull, as we know, with like just how they sold everything. So yes, give us your Skrulls, give us your Kree.
So in happier news, a Fox
Yeah, Cree. Jessica Jones too. Shout out.
moment.
Anyway,
In good Fox news, Deadpool 2 has a new trailer, and it is the most plot heavy, but we still don't know a lot about the plot. It gave us new details, it fleshed out some scenes, but all we know is that Cable is the villain, and check it out with us.
Yes.
Ah, majestic.
the music.
Dopender. So happy.
Yeah.
Lighthearted.
And he's just enjoying this.
It's just
music.
life's great. And then in a moment right out of the first movie in the comic books. 10-second F-bomb doesn't waste a beat.
Actually,
Yes. For those that are listening, this is the trailer that's online.
Yep.
So
And it's
uncensored.
instant brown pants reference and decapitation and Deadpool in heels jumping off a stripper pole.
Uncensored
Stripper
trailer.
pole Deadpool.
sorry I'm late.
And it reminds you the love story right away. It gives you the heart of Deadpool at the offset, which is brilliant.
Without giving away too much, like you
It's
said.
just, yeah, it's just like it's all heart, because Deadpool's heart is what makes the character work. Like, you need to care about him, because otherwise he's just Stifler. Like, there has to be the sensitivity there.
In the foxicle is this?
And then
Like
we
I
have-
said, uncensored. iTunes people, uncensored.
And then we see Cable in all of his glory, and we see, like, the villain role he's taking. He's chasing down Hunt for the Wilder People kid.
Is it the villain role though? Is it?
I think
we're
I
going to
think
talk
in the
about
beginning,
this.
I think he starts as a villain.
Totally going to talk about this, and I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Kids give us a chance.
27 dresses. I enjoyed that movie.
Love that joke. And Revenge of the Fans thinks that Julian Dennison is Rusty Collins, aka Fire Fist, not Pyro. So the rumor is he is Fire Fist, which is exciting.
Interesting.
And then Blind Al, of course. And I love that Surge is Negasonic's girlfriend, apparently, and Surge looks
Oh.
incredible. Yeah, which is huge
I had
and
no
exciting.
clue.
Yeah, Surge and Negasonic, which is
That's
awesome.
amazing.
The shot of him in the wheelchair, there's Surge being great. We find out he's officially Bedlam, and the X-Force name drop.
Bill Skarsgård in the back.
Yeah,
Which
as
is
Zeitgeist or
derivative.
Chamber, we don't know. Oh, LL, always ready.
I love these action sequences.
Yeah, John Wick is just prepped for Deadpool.
He hit him with the cinder block.
Sometimes you gotta. Now, the costume is gray, but I think it's from soot, not necessarily X-Force. I think it might lead into X-Force. You might realize the benefits of the costume.
I will say that the action sequences of Deadpool have upgraded my day fantasies of being in fights.
the daydreams.
Yes.
Oh, God, I wish I finished college.
Dejected Zazie Beats. Zazie Beats.
The hype plus.
Fuck it. They probably won't even make a 3.
Yeah, why would they? Stop it, too. You killed it.
More franchise jokes for the best franchise going right now at Fox. Obviously, X-Force is happening. Deadpool 3 is probably also happening, so I love that little beat at the end. It's really tricky to have a Deadpool trailer have a comedy beat at the end because the trailer's all comedy. Like, the shape of trailers is usually action, title, comedy beat, but in a trailer full of comedy, that's a great way to end it.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack in that trailer, so we've got some images for y'all.
Yeah, and just saying for like overall of this trailer, it is. I love that up to this point, like social media for Deadpool just kills it. They killed it before and they killed it now. But up to now, we've just had like, oh hey, here's everything Deadpool. Like this is the personality of Deadpool.
Right.
Bob Ross.
Remember you like him? Remember how much you like him?
Search it up. Bob Ross. And then now it's like, oh hey, so yeah, we're actually doing a movie. So here's all this.
Here's
movie
some ideas
stuff
of how
for
it's
you.
shaped.
Exactly. So I'm very excited for us breaking this down.
So we've got Cable in the completed CGI arm shot, as they made fun of in the first movie, which I love. So we get to see it in all of its glory here. We theorize Cable's the bad guy only because of the shape of the trailer. I do think that by the third act they are teaming up with their homies. But I do think in the beginning...
I think by second.
Oh, you think that early?
I think by second.
I think there's a miscommunication that goes on for a while. That he's hunting the kid. By the end, they're like, breaking the fourth wall. I was on Heroes with Amy, and she thinks the end of the movie is Deadpool and Cable having coffee discussing how they met, which I love.
Interesting. The reason why I think second act is because when you think about back when with like comics in general, whenever you have two good people, good superheroes fighting each other, then it's usually only the first third of the comic where it's just like, oh no, I didn't mean to, fight you, Iron Man.
This is one reason of conflict. Now that we've solved this reason of conflict, goodbye.
Let's focus on who's really to blame.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that this is more of the top part of the movie.
What's fun is that Deadpool and Cable fight often because Deadpool's usually the bad guy.
Because Deadpool.
And Deadpool was a villain in the comics. Deadpool was a bad guy, so Cable was the good guy. So it's cool that they're playing in that trope and making it the opposite because Deadpool's perspective, Cable would be the bad guy.
I love it.
That's a thing. And then we have a shot of Marina Baccarin to remind us that the reason the first movie worked is because it was a beautiful love story. The rom-com posters weren't lying to us. The movie was actually a love story.
It's the closest that we have to rom-com. For people out there that's like, oh, I feel lonely inside. This is a really good action meets rom-com.
Yeah.
To just fuel the fire that burns within.
And the love story with the montage of them boning over a year was amazing.
Messy people. They are
fantastic.
Messy, but they found each other.
And ring pop proposals are important. And then we have the one of the things I'm most excited for, and a nose boop to top it off, is Surge and Negasonic are together. And Surge is such a fun character. I thought I was confused because she has a very Psylocke imagery in this trailer.
Yeah,
and she didn't have her
pink hair.
But she didn't have her gauntlets. So I was like, who is she? Because it wasn't Psylocke, but also I think of Surge's gauntlets as kind of an iconic thing. Okay. But they play around with the iconography of the X-Men, so I think 98% that is in fact Surge, and she looks awesome.
Yeah, something that I definitely want us to bring to the conversation is the very fact that we have so many people that utilize electricity or electricity dampening in this. Like you have Surge, you have Bedlam that goes with that, and then the possibility of us having Pete Wisdom, and if y'all see, I forget the actor that they have.
Rob Delaney?
Rob Delaney, thank you. It's Rob Delaney, and I forget.
He's coming up. We got a shot of him.
Oh, okay, great.
So,
I can save that particular.
Yeah, when we get to that moment.
But yeah, for these electricity dampening things, it's when you put together an X-Force full of people, then who exactly are they fighting?
And
is it just Cable, or is it to then progress past Cable?
And who's the actual third villain?
Yeah.
Which I will not reveal, but I will say to viewers of the show, you should come back and watch this after Deadpool, this episode. And I will give you no other hints.
Please do.
Other than I've planted an Easter egg on this very episode, and I'm going to tell you guys what that is once we wrap. There's an Easter egg in this episode who I think the villain is, besides the Irish villain I also think is in the movie. So we are going to move on to the next shot. we've got one of my favorite comedy beats, and I also love that it's Barack Obama and Lincoln in the back. Like the two presidential posters are Lincoln and Obama, and it's obviously Wade tooling around in Xavier's chair in the X Mansion. What's he doing? I can't wait to find out.
Yeah, Wade is dressed in casual clothes with what my mom would call bobos, which is a type of shoe that is huge sneakers and is white.
Yep.
And usually they don't cost a lot.
He's very
but
cozy.
They're very comfortable.
Very cozy Deadpool. He's comfy.
And more than likely they're Velcro.
Yes, which will be glorious.
Those are bobos.
He wears Crocs in the first one. He's a comfy guy. And then we got the money shot.
Just real quick with that, how did he get a hold of Professor X's wheelchair?
We'll find out.
That's a very good question.
And is James McAvoy in it?
Man kind of needs his chair. You know, that's just kind of one of the things. Unless he has multitude of chairs, and I know for this particular shot, like Ryan Reynolds talked about them flying in the chair, that there was security for the chair, that they unwrapped the chair on
it's
set,
a moment.
and it was a big deal.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that in this universe that they don't have more than one Professor X chair. So the fact that Wade Wilson is sitting in this chair so cash.
Yeah, and
Super
tooling
cash.
around in it with those icons in the background. I love this shot.
Ooh, yeah.
It's
Love
so,
it.
and it's like a comic frame, which I love too.
There's got to be
Indeed.
more surprises because I mean, like studio has more of a budget. They don't have
yeah.
just two X-Men
Well,
now.
look, we have the
More-
X-Force. Like,
Yeah, right. We just don't have Colossus. We don't have Negasonic. We have Surge, and it's really exciting. I feel like there's a lot of surprises to come. So
yeah, and it comes out in a month, and we still are excited. But like, we still don't know so much.
exactly.
All right, and then we got one of the biggest shots of the trailer. I mean, this is the money shot everyone's talking about. It's one of the most, gift images on the internet, and it's not just Wakanda Forever in this moment, which I love. I love the Wonder Woman, Deadpool, Black Panther, Wolverine shots on Instagram of just everyone
Wakanda Forever.
And Rob Liefeld tweeted out, Instagrammed an image of Wakanda Forever of a Deadpool, and I was like, yeah, way to pay respect. So I love this shot, and like the joke about it being derivative to X-Force also ties into Black Panther and Wonder Woman, which is fantastic, and that's beautiful. And then, so this shot I grabbed specifically because if you look very closely, he is obviously head to toe in gray, but I think it's soot, obviously the fire. But if you look at where the power dampening necklace separates, there is red underneath. So I think that maybe there's a scene where he wears this outfit and he realizes, oh, cool, and there's a joke about it looking badass, and then later on he gets the gray suit.
Or he's completely covered in ash.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think this is a red suit covered in ash, but I think then he makes fun of it and then gets a gray suit on purpose later.
Yeah,
I think that'll turn to why he does X-Force.
And definitely a prison type of scenario for Deadpool having this power dampening on, and then who I think is Kid Apocalypse having it on later on. I mean, it makes sense.
Is that
it makes
what you
sense.
think Julian is?
I think Kid Apocalypse.
All right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it just makes sense with the power set, definitely, and then having Cable involved.
And Kid
And then-
Apocalypse
and
is
then
in the
having-
comics right now, tying into both of them.
Exactly. I think it does.
All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense because Surge is a newer character too. So I feel like that's what's cool about Deadpool. I love it because we're getting older characters, but at the same time we're getting newer characters as well for like the newer fans of comics and whatnot. So it's a nice blend.
And they can see their heroes on screen and get the
Absolutely.
moment. Speaking of which, this shot, Zazie Beetz as Domino, I'm so excited to see more of her. But we also got Bill Skarsgård in the back as what we theorize is either Zeitgeist or maybe Chamber. I think it's Zeitgeist, but if it's Chamber, I'll lose my mind. Because he has the thing covering. So maybe he is fighting to hold his power at bay the whole movie, and then he just blows out the psionic wave, and then it's just
Interesting. And then all you see is that where his face doesn't
where
exist.
it was. I would love if he, by the third act, is Chamber. I'd lose my mind. I think it's Zeitgeist, but I can dream. A boy can dream.
Do you think there's
Man.
going to be some big deaths in this film? Like a lot of these characters
I
are
don't think
gonna
all the
be-
X-Force are going to make it.
Yeah.
Well,
very-
there's enough of them that you can kill some off.
Yeah.
So there is that.
not a couple to juggle.
And actually, sorry, Anthony, one shot back to there. Yeah, and you look deep background. Rob is in the background with a mustache behind Bill Skarsgård.
Then let's bring this
now
up
while
then.
we're here,
Do we?
Pete
Okay,
Wisdom, here we are.
great. Yes. Okay. So Rob Delaney, when you watch the trailer, that you'll see that Deadpool is like flipping through headshots, and then one of them is Rob Delaney, and it just says at the bottom Peter. I don't think he says Pete, but Peter. I believe that he has to be Pete Wisdom, and that is Pete Hot Knives Wisdom. And there it is.
There's the shot. Yeah, I got that one. And if you look to the right of that shot, Bedlam confirmed.
Oh, there you go.
You see
For
Terry
Terry
Crews?
Crews.
Yeah, so
And
Bedlam's
he's
written down
Bedlam.
right there as well.
Which also makes sense for Rob Delaney to be Pete Wisdom because Pete Wisdom, he does do training for Bedlam. You know,
They tie together really well.
they really do. And then also at Pete Wisdom, he is I don't know how they're going to portray him in this, but from what I remember from him with comics, he's like hard drinking. What's the term for it? Acerbic. He's witty and cutting with what he says.
So get a stand-up comedian like Rob Delaney.
Will
like
smoke anywhere kind of person. And then also in the comics, he is he's involved with Kitty Pryde. At the age that she is at, he's still involved with her. I'm of the yuck genre.
Oh yeah, no,
you know, with
and
that,
that's intentional. I think the mustache also is very heavy on that.
Yeah. They do then leave that, and then there's this whole thing with him battling Colossus. Colossus wins, but who really wins in a fight between someone that can throw daggers, hot knives out of their hands, and with Colossus? But I think with like the R rating that X-Force and Deadpool 2 just is, that's a really good get.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Rob Delaney as this character, I'm really excited, and I love that we like pieced it together through 3 trailers, and it's still like he's deep background. One of my other favorite shots of this trailer is this is so X-Men and so Deadpool. Like that jersey is one of like the first movie had the most accurate X-Men costumes to date for me, and then this is like what they'd play sports in. I love because X-Men are always weirdly playing baseball. The X-Men play baseball so much in the comics, so I love that he has like a hockey jersey on, like an X-Men hockey jersey, and Deadpool always just throws clothes over his suit, so this image just, it shows how much they captured the essence of Deadpool. This shot made me so happy. And the exposed belly, the midriff, art.
Drinking game every time he changes a costume.
Oh, by all means. Yes. By my 5th viewing, I'm in. Let's do that.
Got it.
I like it with them with baseball because it's a non-contact sport that's American.
And they always like add powers to it, and like Storm like pitches the ball with a little wind behind it, and it's the cutest thing.
So they don't hurt each other too much while having fun.
But they know what they're doing. And then the X-Force assembly shot we've gone over. Thank you, sir. And then the international posters have come out, and the international posters remind us of the first movie's marketing campaign, which is pure comedy gold. I love this shot. That is a comic cover. Like, Cable Deadpool broing out. That's a beautiful thing. And then the next one is Wet Willy-tastic.
Oh, I love
the big
that
one. 3. So international posters, I just love the marketing of this movie. I want there to be more. I'm hoping they really ramp up because the first movie had so much insane marketing. They really like put it together. Revenge of the Fans sent us these international posters, so thank you, Mike Merchant over there. I think that we are in for a great movie, and I'm so excited. And the trailer for Deadpool 2, once again, we didn't really learn too much. We just saw we like confirmed characters without really realizing what they're doing, which is a good trailer. When it makes you want to like gather information, not like lean back and I'll deal with it.
And it makes it harder to predict as well because everything seemed to be like mixed up as well. So you really don't have like a solid like plot line of like okay, like where's that in the movie? When is that first? Is that after?
Right.
Kind of like the Homecoming trailer. I forget which number it was. Remember the Homecoming trailer?
It spelled everything out.
I was like, oh,
It was like the third trailer was like, this is the plot.
Yeah, exactly.
A good trailer, I think, should be like the back of a book where you like read it and you're like, oh, I'm leaning in, tell me more. Whereas a lot of trailers are like, well, I read the back of the book. I guess I've seen the movie. And you're just like, well, I'm done. So I loved that this trailer was that.
Something that I'm wondering is that for outside of comic book fans,
the
difference between Cable and Strife, for instance.
That'll be hard to...
Because if they decide to, go down that rabbit hole of having Cable, be like, oh, the misconstrued, bad person for the first part. And then it's like, oh, hey, here's Strife. Who's the bad person for the rest of it?
They could Terminator 2 it, They could have the character... And they're leaning into T2 pretty hard, where they have, like, the T1... That, like, you have different...
They could.
So that's what I'm hoping they do. Now, with the negative news...
And then also I've posed Black Panther
He's
and the Dark
canning
Pool.
His way into justice?
Well, it's like the Dark Pool where he was being carried by Cable. So enjoy that, people that are watching on YouTube.
Now, in sad news relating to Deadpool, the animated series is canceled until further notice. And that is... I almost said a word I can't say on this show, but I'm not happy about it. Donald Glover and Stephen Glover were working on a show over at FX, and FX is housing Legion. They do a lot of really creative content. Atlanta is over there, so the Glovers clearly have a good relationship with FX, but they're citing creative differences as to the show not happening. Due to creative differences, Stephen Glover and Marvel Television have agreed to part ways on Marvel's Deadpool animated series. FX released in a statement, FX will no longer be involved with the project. Now, to me... I'm hoping that means that they can take it somewhere else. I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just hoping that is the case. I know they were deep in production. I know that the show it had a tone. We talked about how it was like godlike, how they saw Deadpool as like this entity that knew he was in a comic and they could play with that. What I think happened was the Deadpool movie is such a strong brand that FX might have gotten worried that their Deadpool was so different it would confuse viewers and they'd lose the audience. because a Fox and Disney thing going through as much as it is, and the FX Fox, like, there's so many moving cogs, I'm afraid that was just a convoluted taste thing.
You don't think that it could have actually helped them?
I think it would have, but I think suits don't necessarily agree with comic fans.
I think that fans would have agreed with it, and I believe that people that haven't had, everything to all things Deadpool, and I even wore my Deadpool pin today because, animated series.
R.I.P. animated series.
Yeah. I believe that they probably wouldn't have really gotten it. When you think about it, they're used to brands being on brand.
Yeah.
And they're not used to brands being more than what they are.
Right.
And Deadpool is way more than what it is. Deadpool really is what point in your life that you approach Deadpool is then how you see Deadpool, which is why having this separate animated series
would have been perfect.
Would have been really.
He's a Rorschach test.
You know what I really hope? I think that after they get the numbers from Deadpool 2, that they'll revisit this, maybe agree more with the Glovers' vision on this, and then maybe
we'll get it on Netflix or we get it somewhere, or FX takes it back. And I want it to happen. It seems like they were very close. It was developing for a while.
Since FX has Legion, I want for them to have something else. I want them to be that beautifully crazy side.
I want FX to be the
Marvel
madness. Always Sunny, Legion,
that's the brand
Atlanta.
of FX.
Like FX is a little crazy, which I love. That's one of my favorite networks.
Yeah, didn't they originally do? Was that South Park? No, I know Comedy Central, but it was something with some crazy.
Always Sunny's pretty crazy. That's FX.
Yeah, it was some crazy animated series that ended up on FX. I don't know. Either chat room tell me or
Archer.
Was it Archer?
Yeah, Archer's over there.
Is BoJack?
And Archer's
which is
the network
nothing like South Park.
Well,
But
Archer
thank you,
was
it's
going to be doing
Archer.
Deadpool. The team of Archer was going to be teaming with the Glovers. Like, that was a match made in heaven. Wow. So we lost something very special. Okay. I'm hoping it still can exist somewhere. And everyone's rumor is the Disney streaming service, of course. Because Disney streaming service will need content. I'm not
Wouldn't
mad.
that be... Don't they don't want to do like...
But if they consume Fox, it'll be Disney.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It'll be under that big umbrella
But
if
don't
they
you think
eat Fox.
the animated series was going to be kind of like R-rated or
But
not rated?
the animated series could still be R-rated on the streaming service because the streaming service is trying to be everything.
Yeah, but it's Disney. It will not be
They
R-rated.
won't want, unless they have like a name, like a sign-in. I don't know.
You know, like you'll have to put
Age
your
restriction?
Yeah, you'll have to put your birth date in, and I'm sure that works everywhere on
Yeah.
the internet.
Kids can't find stuff. Now, in Marvel food news, Blue Apron. They keep the lights on, and they're delicious.
They
We
are delicious.
Both of those things. So Blue Apron is the leading meal kit delivery service in the U.S., and like most people know what they do because they are the number one. They're the number one fresh ingredient and recipe delivery service in the country, and their mission to make incredible home cooking accessible to everyone. They achieve this by using only sustainable food, and their shipping is top-notch and brilliant. They use a very cool like mini fridge they send to you, and everything's They're awesome. It's a really cool company, and they have a 2-person meal plan, a family meal plan, and a wine plan. So they have different tiers of things you can do, whether it's you and a mate, you and a family, you and a friend, you and the homeless guy down the street. Whatever you want to cook for, they have different plans for you, and you can actually pick which meal comes to you, and it breaks down to actually cheaper than going out to eat. They offer 12 new recipes each week. You can pick 2, 3, or 4 recipes based on your schedule. Everything's high quality, everything is delicious, and if you, as a Marvel fan, go to blueapron.com/Marvel, you not only get $30 off, but you also get free shipping. So, blueapron.com/Marvel gets you free shipping, and right now, their new stuff they are featuring are quick bucatini with broccoli and pecorino cheese, pan-fried chicken breast with sweet and tangy zucchini, Italian-style shrimp and sweet peppers over fragula sarda pasta, and Parmesan-crusted steaks with mashed potatoes and broccoli, which is my favorite. So these guys are great. Blue Apron's been awesome to us, so check them out, blueapron.com/Marvel for $30 off and free shipping, and back to Fox.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to another subscription from them sometime.
Yeah,
because that would be really
I
nice.
am starving too.
And
That would be nice.
in Marvel food news. Now back over to Fox. In the world of things moving forward, when we're not sure if they'll exist, Doctor Doom is said to be a mixture of genres. We know Noah Hawley, who is responsible for the magic of Legion and Fargo and so much good content, is the man behind this Doom movie. And they sat down with him over at Zerber, and he said, quote, "As with Legion, my thought was that the superhero genre has a certain kind of movie covered, but what else can the genre do? What's interesting to me about Doom's character is he's a king of an Eastern European country, and there's a version of this movie that is more of a political thriller that mixes genres. It's something that Winter Soldier did really well, which was kind of make a Cold War thriller movie out of a superhero movie. This is different than that, but it does have this idea of, I don't want to say too much about it, but it's a mixture of genres." What do you guys think?
Ali?
I am clueless. I just don't know. I feel like canon anti-hero kind of film sell in this day of age? Because
Deadpool, man.
But that's Deadpool.
I mean, Deadpool sells.
I don't know. I'm not sure what to expect from this film. Is he okay? Is T'Challa okay?
No, he's good. I put the
Okay.
T'Challa head on him now because
Aw.
after I pulled off the Black Panther head, I realized that I could change his head.
And that's important.
Yeah.
But I mean, Noah Hawley has made Legion almost an anti-hero, you know, and he's directly responsible for Legion. Like, so that character shouldn't be as likable as he is, and he's also like Fargo's a show that on paper doesn't work. So I you know, with his name behind it, I think he can make Doom very interesting, and especially with Doom in the comics is always like, why do I kind of like this guy? Like Doom's always like slightly more approachable than he should be.
Yeah, for me, Dr. Doom is kind of like how with Mr. Sinister, where it's just like, this is a bad guy. This is a total bad guy. But you know what? I kind of get where he's coming from.
Yeah.
It resonates with me, and I enjoy the interaction that Dr. Doom has with our other characters.
Absolutely.
Like, for instance, with Luke Cage, where it's like, okay, you have Dr. Doom go to Harlem in New York, and he has this whole thing with Black Mariah, and he stiffs her, and he stiffs Luke Cage for $200. So then Luke Cage has to go to Latveria to then get that $200 from Dr. Doom to then save him from a peasant uprising.
Comics get weird, gang.
Comics, hell of a drug. Hell of a drug.
But Doom is
it's
that
like
versatile.
Doom is that person where he's multiversal. You know, if that's not a term already, I'm gonna keep on using it.
Trademark, Marquis McCarty.
Multiversal. Yeah, and I'm very much enjoying this. I love that Noah Hawley's on with it because Legion is just it's that perfect amount of crazy that you want to bring to Doom, but then also it deals with some real issues. Like it deals with Legion itself, like mental illness, and then it's like the view of mental illness for someone who is living in that, and then how that's portrayed outside for everybody else.
What I love about Doom is he's like the anti-Black Panther. He's a leader, but he's corrupt, and he doesn't realize he's corrupt. Black Panther is a leader that walks amongst his people. Doom literally makes Doom bots to rule his people, but he thinks he's right because they're thriving-ish. So I love the idea of doing a geopolitical thriller that is the opposite of Black Panther in the way that your protagonist is kind of ruining the country he thinks he's helping.
It's the difference between having a paladin like T'Challa and then having a blackguard like Dr. Doom.
Exactly. So they could make that really interesting for me. I'm excited. Over in the world of Marvel, we have 5 new Infinity War posters that are all sexy. Look at that. They're just so pretty. They pop.
They're delicious.
They're just scrumdiddlyumptious posters, gang. So we've got I love that Scarlet Witch and Vision share this poster. There's an innate sadness to it. Someone's gonna die.
I love that Wanda's takes up the most of the poster because I feel like Wanda we haven't got to really explore her yet.
Yeah,
so I'm really hoping that Infinity War we're gonna get to see Wanda really just destroy things.
Yeah, and then
with her ex.
Falcon and War Machine getting more love too. Like this is one of my favorite ones of the posters. And we can get to the next one. Ooh. We got the purple side. We got Gamora, Star-Lord, and One-Eyed Thor rocking out.
Yes,
Spoiler alert for Ragnarok from 6 months ago.
Don't let these the color of the posters fool you. Yes, they have meaning.
Accidentally minted purple. Like, ooh, Microsoft Paint, we spilled.
It just happened.
So I mean, the posters they have that like old Star Wars vibe, that Steven Spielberg like hand drawn cover vibe. There's scope to them.
Oh, interesting.
You know that like remember
for me, it's a little bit superhero meets Goonies for these. So I'm really enjoying these.
Yeah, and then down in the corner you've got the rest of the Guardians. You got Groot, Rocket, and they're so pretty. And we got another one. And then this
alien
edgy
vibes.
green alien one.
Yeah,
totally.
And then it's also like, wow, why are they the Time Stone?
It's so weird
like,
how Skrulls are green and Black Widow's green. It's such a strange green Skrull Black Widow.
Are you trying to say that Black Widow is a Skrull?
Black Widow's a Skrull.
Black Widow's a Skrull.
I don't want to believe it.
Wait, Black Widow. Black Widow.
I'm just saying.
Black Widow.
Is it it's Skrull o'clock?
It's Skrull o'clock.
Black Widow's a Skrull.
Black Widow's
Future's
a
so bright.
Skrull.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm outnumbered, so.
Black Widow's a
Those glasses
Skrull.
are amazing, Ollie.
Thank you. It's Marquette.
Fantastic.
Thank
you, Marquette.
So good
Thank
on
you,
you.
Corey. Thank
They
you.
look so good on you.
I just kind of want to keep them on, honestly.
By all means. Then we got to flip through these next ones. We got the red, which is Team Iron Man with Doctor Strange. You got your facial hair bros with your spider bros, and you got Wong in there, really popping. And then we got another one. I can't get over all these glasses.
I know, they look so good.
And then we've got like this Cap Nomad Wakandan team. You know, you've got like White Wolf and Cap and Shuri, and this one has that like the future's coming feel.
Yeah, and those that don't remember, White Wolf in the MCU has been established as now Bucky Barnes, as opposed to being White Wolf from the comics, who was Hunter. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then is that the last one?
I believe it is.
Okay.
Oh, Nebula's in that one too.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Nebula down corner, and Mantis in the very bottom, but it's hard to see on our screen. And then, so those are those posters. Now, in the world of Marvel, moving on to Captain Marvel, the movie synopsis has been released for Captain Marvel, and it says, quote, "The story follows Carol Danvers as she becomes one of the universe's most powerful heroes when Earth is caught in the middle of a galactic war between two alien races, Skrull and Kree. Set in the 1990s, Captain Marvel is an all-new adventure from a previously unseen period in the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I am so excited to see pre-Iron Man Marvel. I'm so excited they can bring certain characters back, and guess who's coming back? Ronan the Accuser.
Yeah.
Mr. Karath, played by Diamond Hansu, and the most exciting one for me, Phil Coulson. Phil Coulson's coming back in Captain Marvel. Mm-hmm. I love Phil Coulson. I think that Coulson in Avengers, like, they needed something to avenge. I'm so excited that he gets to come back in MCU continuity in a way that doesn't disrespect his death. I love that he gets to be involved with, like, a different super set of teams. I hope he's, like, intern Phil. I hope he's, like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like, it's just forming, and he's, like, a 20-year-old whippersnapper, like, just starting up. Because it's, like, the funny. 90s. Think about it. Like, 2012 was Avengers. So,
I like that. I like him being idealistic, and then he becomes Ronan the Accuser.
No, I'm talking about Phil.
Oh,
like,
Phil. Oh, I'm sorry.
Phil.
I saw Ronan, and then I zoned out for a second. And I was like, oh, Ronan the Accuser.
Phil Coulson starting out, because 2012,
I very
the
much
90s.
Enjoy, yes, Coulson coming with that. And I was also kind of distracted by the chat room, because they were saying, like, what is Marquia saying? Keep it PG? I'm like, when was I not PG with something? But yeah, with this, I love that we will have Coulson back in the MCU. Way back when, I did like this whole like cosplay stand-up kind of a thing where I was Nikki Fury, and I had all this was right after Avengers, and I had all these bits of like Agent Coulson like popping back up in the MCU, and I was like ruthlessly heckled because it was like, he's dead, no, pick someone else, and I'm like,
you know how comics work? Did you ever read a comic?
This is Marvel.
Yeah, you ever read, Winter Soldier was dead for 70 years in the comics.
Yeah, at this point, I think the only person that's really dead is Yondu.
Uncle Ben. There's the two.
Everyone has theirs.
Everyone has theirs. Uncle Ben actually dead. Gwen Stacy, also 616, gone forever. We also, in the world of Captain Marvel, have this badass training video of Captain Marvel herself, Brie Larson, getting swole, son. It's on her Instagram. She is working out hard. Superhero physique. Look at that woman go.
I'm telling you. This is the Captain Carol Danvers that we need and we deserve.
I mean, Air Force Captain training. Like, look at that back. She's swole.
Go.
Do you remember Jessica Biel in Blade Trinity, where she was just like sculpted from clay? I'm excited for. I think that it's really cool to see women and men working out for these roles, because like we've seen these heroes come to life in 3D, and just that's awesome.
And just following Brie. Sorry to cut you off.
No.
Just following Brie, because I'm such a Brie Larson fan. You see her post on Twitter and Instagram about being Carol Danvers, and she's so excited. You can tell that she is totally behind this role 100%. And seeing that, I'm just so ready for 2019.
It's coming.
We've got an impressive timeline for her of her being like totally invested and being Captain Marvel.
And seeing her walk through that photo, like the class photo, the 10-year anniversary. She was like the freshman in class, like, hey guys, like she was like the new excitable, and I love that.
Here. And I love that you tapped specifically Blade Trinity, because then that gave us Ryan Reynolds as the most Deadpool.
That's how he. Do you know that's how we got Deadpool
yes,
comics?
I do know.
I love that so much. Someone's like, "You're playing this just like Deadpool," and he's like, "What's Deadpool?" And somebody handed him a comic, and the world changed forever. So we also, in the world of Skrulls, this recently came to light. There is in Guardians of the Galaxy an Easter egg that no one was really talking about. The Stan Lee cameo in the first Guardians. That right there says Excelsior in the Skrull language.
Oh my!
That is the language of Skrulls, and that says Excelsior. So we've already had Skrulls mentioned in the Guardians of the Galaxy universe, which is amazing. That James Gunn, long game, 4 years ago, planting seeds.
And this just in, that was the $100,000 Easter egg that nobody found.
It's not that one.
I know
he
it's
came
not.
out, James Gunn was like, no, that's just one of them. I'm that in depth. That's insane. He's like, no, there's still more. So, I mean, guys, there was a Skrull language Easter egg 4 years ago, and we're just finding it.
That is crazy.
That man
I need to watch Guardians again, first one.
Oh, always.
Yeah.
It's such a good rewatch.
I'm doing Guardians 1, 2, and Ragnarok right before Infinity War. Those are my last three on the watch along in my journey, because I feel like the space cosmic, and then Ragnarok goes right into Infinity War, so That's my move.
I'm saving up mentally to then do Thor Dark Worlds again.
So I'm not saying that Stan Lee is a Skrull, because he's obviously Uatu the Watcher, but maybe she is a Skrull saying Excelsior to him. Right? Who knows? Now,
Or maybe it is a Rocket the entire time, because isn't Rocket the one
he's
that's
the one that
actually
reads this.
viewing?
Yeah.
And then he's reading it, and yeah. So there we go.
Someone's gonna be upset.
This just in. It's Rocket. So it's Rocket.
Everyone's a Skrull and everyone dies. Marquis McCarty confirms. Cloak and Dagger, our final story for the day. The showrunner wants, you ready for this? A Runaways crossover,
Yes.
and we are here
Yes.
for it. That would be amazing if TV crossovers just built up and up. While speaking at the show's panel during WonderCon in Anaheim, which was amazing, showrunner Joe Pekaski said they wanted to take advantage of the shared universe, saying, quote, "I hope so. I mean, it was really important for the first season to really establish Tandy and Tyrone, even as people before they become superheroes. But I'm a big fan of what Josh Schwartz and Stephanie Savage did in Runaways, and we're always talking about when do we get to do our crossover. There's probably 400 lawyers in the way, but I'm excited to, however, have a Cloak and Dagger play in the same universe. Us too."
Yes.
That needs to happen.
Yeah, because they have that.
Yes.
They have
and
that.
Both first and second volume of Runaways,
Yeah.
they appeared.
They're similar age, they're similar flavor shows, they're similar type characters. I love the idea of, like, these are kids on the run and the Runaways. It kind of works, guys.
It really
And the
does.
Runaways, when we had them on our show, when Angela and Ryan came on the show, they said that they got to meet some of the Cloak and Dagger gang at a press junket and said they were lovely. So we've already had it in real life. We've already had the crossover. So I would love for this to happen. I think Cloak and Dagger looks incredible. Runaways is one of my favorite Marvel properties on TV. I was really impressed with Runaways throughout. So if those two worlds can combine and we can get like a young adult Defenders, that'd be awesome.
That would be amazing.
Interesting. Something with this in particular, with like the Runaways comics, where they do the crossover, like they have with Molly's interaction with Tyrone. Yes, thank you. Where he's like, "Oh, I can't take off my cloak," and she rips it off of his skin.
So much.
There's so many moments
And he
that could be
just-
amazing.
He's like, "Whoa!"
That was such a good part in that. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
or you have like Runaways like traveling through the dimension like within his cloak to
Yeah.
then get to New York, and they have pizza with Spider-Man. I believe that's in
Oh,
there
yeah,
like
with
later.
Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it.
And it's
this
really
great run.
crossover will be.
Yeah, and
it's
Tyrone.
worth it.
Yeah, Tyrone was the one who kind of hinted who the mole was as well. So I think that was a really important.
It's a cool way to like escalate, because you need
Yeah.
escalation on these shows. So it's season 2, that'd be incredible.
Definitely
So
could.
before we go to our Merry Marvellites very quickly, one of the reasons Ollie is up on the desk today
Oh no.
is
Oh yes.
this a sad reason. This is Ollie's last
You
show
can put your glasses back
over
up.
here for the tears.
So yeah. I'm okay, guys. I'm just being shady.
So we wanted
good.
Ollie to get some desk time. We wanted
Yes.
Ollie to be rep it with us today
It was
because
fun.
Ollie's going to the big Marvel in the sky.
Don't say it that way. It's
No, we're gonna have guests whenever we
Ollie.
can.
Yeah, we'll have Ollie guest whenever we can. But Ollie is going on to other excellent
Yes.
career ventures, and we're very happy and proud, and we love that you're like going out there and you're spreading your dreamboatness.
Thank you so
Very
much.
important to spread the
It's-
dreamboatness.
It's been
Yes.
an honor to be with you guys this past year.
And anytime you can guest, man. Anytime
Yeah,
you want, if there's something
definitely.
you're excited about, there's news,
Yes.
you loved a movie, just let us know.
Runaways, like that is
When this crossover
I'm ready.
happens-
I'm ready for Cloak and Dagger too on Freeform. But it's been a pleasure being with you guys and learning from you this past year. And I know why this show is so important to fans and Mackie as well, because you guys are just so very inspirational and you know your stuff. And it's just been a pleasure watching you guys week after week and learning from you guys.
You've been amazing. We're gonna miss you dearly.
And yeah, I just have like a quick question for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Something that that I've kind of been battling this past few weeks is kind of like this issue of why do I love Marvel so much? Why do I love comics? Why do I like video games? And I think we can often, us nerds, can get criticized about us being escapists, and it's not like a good form of, media. So why? Because I know it's important to me. I know that this is important to so many people around the world. Why is it important to you guys? I just need your help with this because sometimes I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah, I can definitely answer that right away. I was a military kid, so
Same.
for me, I spent most of my childhood in Europe and other countries. But you live on base with other American kids. You have the exchange, you have commissary. If you're lucky, you have movie theater or maybe a YMCA-esque kind of a place, but basically you have the barracks, you have the exchange, you have a commissary. And then if you travel off base, you have to keep in mind that you're younger, so you would just travel with your parents. So for me, I had video games, wrestling, and then I had Marvel, and I also had DC. Because the exchange wouldn't, and I had Archie. Let me say, and I had Archie. Archie was actually my very first comic book ever, and I have a large collection of Archie thanks to that. But what you would have to keep in mind, I mean, and this is, I've realized since it's so different than how other people have grown up, but for me it was normal. You would eat everything that you could that was and I mean eating that,
consume, take in.
Consume. You would consume everything that you could that was comics or video games. Wrestling actually wasn't that big of a thing for other people, and I was like,
Attitude
what?
Area?
This is amazing.
That was when wrestling.
It was amazing.
Lita, Trish Stratus.
You Undertaker. Yeah. So you would take all of that, and then anywhere from 6 months to at the most 3 years, you would be moving again. Whole new,
Start
fan
fresh.
Base. No, whole new friends, whole new school, whole new everything. And that would happen repeatedly. I can't list on both hands how many places that I lived as a kid. And so when you get to the new place, you would be like, hey, I know about this, and this with, DC or Marvel, or hey, I've got these video games. And then depending on how long, those kids were there, they would have either a different set or progress further because they were in some place that got a better stockpile, coming from America or whatnot. Then you would have this collaborative effort of nerddom with these other kids. It's like you had to take America with you, and America kind of only really existed when you could discuss it in nerd terms with other people. So for me, Marvel, DC, video games, Nintendo was my beginning, and wrestling have been my life. I don't know it any other way. So it's good that it's mainstream for things now. Otherwise, I would be the biggest freak in the world.
Well, yeah, the fandom is definitely mainstream, like you said, and it's kind of cool to be a nerd these days.
No, it's the best.
Yeah.
WonderCon was so inspiring to be amongst everyone that likes the same thing, and to have it be such a place of positivity. For me, it's because it was a morality compass. For me, it was about discovering right and wrong through these characters that were so they knew their north, their true north. And for me, I love comedy and I love being entertained. So Spider-Man and his sense of humor was inspiring to me to branch out and to accept that this thing that you're using as a defense mechanism is good. And that's kind of why I've evolved from Spider-Man to Deadpool, was because those are two characters that use comedy in different ways. Spider-Man uses it defensively and Deadpool uses it as a coping mechanism in a way that he's protecting himself and others. Like I was talking about how Deadpool wears a mask not for his secret identity but to keep you from throwing up. And I love the idea of these two characters that use similar sensibilities for different reasons. So when I was a kid, it was oh, these characters are dressed in red and black and they're a lot alike, but they're so different. So for me, it was a way to expand my mind into what different people could be like. It was about acceptance and versatility and universality and all of these things, all with a moral compass. So when I started reading comics, it made me feel like the world was a better place by way of oh, look at these people that are fighting, but they're always landing on their feet. They're always going to find the way out. They're always going to do the right thing, even under duress. So it was what I think a lot of people get out of the Bible, I get out of Spider-Man. What a lot of people get out of religion, I get out of Marvel and DC. What a lot of people get out of going to church, I get out of going to WonderCon. What I think that religion does for people to give them a moral compass, I get out of going to Marvel movies. So I think it's a really inclusive thing that makes people feel warm and cozy. So my dad was a big into comics, that passed on to me, and I love collecting. So it's 5,000 reasons, but for me it's about being a good person, being an entertaining person, and being entertained and sharing all of that with others.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. No, those were two very wonderful explanations. And
very different,
very different.
Traveling, being home. They're very, finding home no matter where you are.
I love both of our answers.
Yeah, I agree. Do you want to quickly do Marvellites? We have 3 minutes.
Marshall Nesbitt at Marshall_Nesbitt. Morgana at Morgana03990390. Tinos Valdo at Mendoza at Muerte_Brutal. Daniel Drew at Jedi Time Saying. Tyden at Tyden19. Cade Mon at I'm Cade Mon. Morgana at Morgana. Wait. We just said that one. Low Rosario at Low Rosario. Bark at birds _ what are they?
The best.
Jose Estrada at Jose TICC. Blackbeard at Joe BS3000. And Charles Lee at GoofyFan _ Chuck. And this is from Dustin Cataline 6. Oh no, Cataline 6 days ago. Hey, hi, can I get a birthday shout out? I missed a live show last week due to work. I just turned 23 and I'm working to become a firefighter.
Awesome.
Wakanda forever, and much love from Dustin. Dustin,
Happy birthday. Real life superhero.
I know, yes, right? Firefighters. Oh my God. I've known a couple of people that were firefighters. I'm like,
just selfless.
Oh,
you're going into fires.
Thank you for what you do.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Happy birthday, hero in real life.
Yes. And then also from Zaz B. Lou. Great show. Coy, Amy, Tony, Markia, and Alan. Wish we had the complete Black Order. Maybe we get all of them in the sequel to Infinity War. The first movie supposedly won't include Yabit Taro, a.k.a. Black Swan, and Supergiant. Yeah, no, Supergiant. By the way, The Rock would be great as Namor or Wonder Man. If they have Wonder Man.
Just like this super on the nose, like eyebrow raising Wonder Man.
If they have him,
he'd be perfect. He would be perfect. I would love that.
Wow.
Great idea, Zayas. That's fantastic.
That is okay. So met the incredible Coy today. It pretty much makes us best friends now. I'm sure I'll be getting a guest invite to Marvel Movie News on the Popcorn Talk any minute now. And that is this image that we have on screen right now. Dude,
WonderCon was amazing. Like, I've met some of the coolest people and so many Marvelites and so many everyone was so good and like, I don't know. It was magical. Warm the cockles.
For our iTunes people, is Coy with a Wario cosplayer.
He was Wario and the guy from the with the bat and Walking Dead. He was a
oh my God, he was Wario. He was Negan Warrior.
Yeah,
Wario.
It was impressive.
That's amazing.
Wargin. From at MPAA Music. Matt Keese, are you going to be with the Marvel News crew for the Avengers Infinity War spoiler review when it gets released? It's honestly a must. We are working
We're scheming. We got
with
some
Matt
schemes.
Keys' schedule, and here's a picture of us. A picture of us at WonderCon.
I love it. Oh.
There was a Marvel Movie News reunion, and it's all three of us.
It was a moment. We found him in the wild.
Yeah, if
Did
anybody's...
you really?
Yeah.
Just randomly?
Well,
we knew later on.
We met him.
We'd find him later, but then it was a good moment.
Yeah, and if anybody's wondering about my facial markings, yes, I was Valkyrie.
I mean, obviously, you go to Wakanda.
Closet Valkyrie.
WonderCon was Wakanda this year.
Yeah, the only thing I regret about the outfit is I wasn't able to throw anything at a Loki. It wasn't the right circumstance ever for it. But
I want Valkyrie in Wakanda now that I've said that joke. I want to see her with that squad. Anyway, this has been a lovely show. We had so much news to get through. Yes. WonderCon was incredible. We're going to figure out Matt Key's schedule. Where can they find you on the internet before we wrap?
You can find me on Instagram and also Twitter at Markia McCarty. That's MarkiaMcCarty. I'll be doing Collider Heroes with Coy, and we'll see who else ends up doing that. That'll be Wednesdays on Collider, and Monday nights I'm doing a tragic horror RPG, 10 Candles. If you are all familiar with it, and I heartily recommend it. I'm so excited about this show. It's Mondays on Hyper RPG, 6 p.m. PST, twitch.tv/HyperRPG. It is Volume 2, The Town. I am an FBI agent, and I am a Mulder type.
That sounds so cool. Hey guys, I'm Oliver Jen. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer. And if you like cosplay like me, follow my Instagram at Ollie Cosplays. You guys are amazing. I'm going to miss you guys.
I miss you, man.
This is not goodbye. And I love all the fans. You guys are amazing. Keep supporting the show. You guys are amazing. And I love it here. And I'm sad to go.
We're gonna have him back. I've been Coy Jandro.
They're gonna kidnap
We're
me.
gonna get off the street, throw him in a van. I've been at Coy Jandro at CoyJandreau on Twitter and Instagram. I am here. I am Wednesday on Collider Heroes. You should specifically watch April 11th for a reason.
And watch it. April 11th. Just
2 more weeks of the fan contest with our fan art for Marvel Movie News. So 2 more weeks of that. Send it to us on Instagram or Twitter. We'll be able to get to it. And we have some cool stuff coming up in April and May. You guys are fantastic. We'll see you next week.
Bye. Fan contest.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.